So, I mean, there's a lot of, when you're playing games and you're making a living at playing games, there are going to be times when you got to be under control or things get away from you. And you don't ever want that to happen.
Let's go next to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
Andy, we don't have a lot more times to chat with you. I think we just have one more day. So looking ahead to Saturday evening, once you guys get in here, you guys will have your normal schedule. But have you put thought into maybe who's going to address the team, what your message wants to be? Is there something you can share with us about what you're planning the night before?
No, I've got something planned, but I'd rather just share it with the team and leave it at that. Diana, I'm not much on taking it out of that room right now, but there will be something going on. Yes.
Next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. Curious how practice went today, and also which of the guys on the 53 did not practice?
Fisher didn't practice, and Willie didn't practice. Everybody else practiced.
Let's go next to Krista Patrick. Go ahead, Krista.
Thank you for your time today, Coach. I've heard you speak all season long to the parity of teams in the league, and I'm just curious with this matchup. There's such parity with the quarterbacks and the tight ends and wide receivers and special teams and defensive schemes. Is there one or two key elements you think may decide this game that you really have to focus in on when there's such parity?
Well, I think your turnovers obviously become an issue in games like this. Special teams can be a deciding factor, and then I always come back to the offensive defensive lines and how they play.
Next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Andy. I know you spoke last year a little bit about your recollections of Lamar Hunt, but I'm trying to remember did you get to know him at all? And along those lines, with your respect for history, how much have you been conscious of what you guys are doing now, sort of tying back to the Chiefs' important history in the game?
Yeah, so I had a chance to meet Lamar all the way back to my first year as a head coach. I was standing outside the meetings. I'm going, man, I don't really know a soul here, at least not that well, other than my own owner and the people from our organization. And he walked up behind me and just tapped me on the shoulder and started just talking. He says, "Welcome to the National Football League. I've heard good things about you. I think you're going to be good for this league." And then we went from there, and he found out my brother was a geologist, and he was a geologist, Lamar was. And so we talked a little bit about family and that. And then I was able to come back for the 101 awards a couple different times. And I had another chance to meet Lamar, Clark, and just the family. So it was, I felt like before I took the job here, I felt like I knew the people that run this organization and do it so well.
Go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, Tyreek a couple of times this year has kind of used that return specialist jab as a motivation thing. I kind of see it as a chip in the shoulder. Can you kind of talk about his competitive drive and now everything that he's been through, being back in the Super Bowl with a chance to go back to back?
You said Tyreek is what you said. Was that?
Yeah, Tyreek.
Tyreek, yeah. So I would tell you that he has worked so hard this year, and I think we've all seen that. Just his dependability and reliability, being out on the field every day, working hard every day, timing with the quarterback every day. You've really seen it day in and day out, and that excuse me, that takes a certain amount of toughness and determination to get yourself to that point. And then you look at the things that he whether it was tweeting out or whatever it was with his off, I'm not sure how it got out there, but it is different videos of his workouts in the off season. how he went about that and how hard he worked in the offseason. It was great. Like I said before, it's great for young kids to see somebody with that much skill and ability work that hard. And he's done that. He's kept that very consistent throughout the whole year here.
We'll go next to TSN Canada, Farhan Lilja. Go ahead, Farhan.
There we go. Sorry, Coach. I just want to ask you what you went through a year ago where there was this league-wide blood and Reid getting his first Super Bowl title.
All right, I think we lost him. We're going to go to Blair Kirchhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Andy, you've mentioned special teams a couple of times, or I've heard it mentioned a couple of times here. What's the balance between a player making a mistake and then the decision to stick with him after that mistake and instead of maybe replacing him?
Yeah, well, he's done good things for us. So if a player has done that, and then I normally have no problem sticking with him. And just saying that was just an odd one off, and we'll get back onto the positive. And Dave Tobe does a good job with that too.
We'll go next to Jeff McClain. Go, Jeff.
Andy, I'd hoped to ask Eric this question yesterday, but I wasn't called on, so that leaves you. The Eagles reportedly requested an interview with Eric Bieniemy, and I was wondering why it never happened. And did it have anything to do with the reported what was reported that the Eagles didn't want to pluck from your tree anymore?
Well, no, there was no formal interview form sent in. No, I mean no, they talked early about it, but there was nothing formally sent in.
And did you hear anything about them not wanting to pluck from your tree again? I mean, after Doug, is that something that ever filtered back to you?
No, not at all. No.
We'll go next to Santiago Tomasi. Go ahead, Santiago.
Thanks, Mr. Reid.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you about your O-line. You're having problems, you're having injuries, you have the opt-outs. How do you think your new O-line and the players are working to fight against one of the most difficult D-lines in the league?
Yeah, well, I would definitely agree with you that it's one of the best defensive lines that we'll be facing this year. And so we know and respect them a lot, Santiago, and we know that that we're going to have to play very well. And my guys, they've been practicing hard the last couple of weeks here and trying to make sure that their technique and fundamentals are proper for playing against that group. And listen, we're not the prettiest bunch on the offensive line, but I've got scrappy guys, and they'll figure out how to do it well.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, one of the common themes that people have discussed about the Super Bowl, I'd like to know, one, if you think it's true, and then two, how you handle it, is that the refs let you play a little bit more, that there's not going to be as many ticky-tack calls, and so you better be ready to maybe be roughed up if you're a receiver. Maybe the offensive linemen get a little more liberties. Number one, do you think that's true here in the Super Bowl, and how do you coach for it?
Yeah, so normally that takes place now. The referee that's working our game, Carl Cheffers, he's done a couple of our games this year, so he knows us. We know him, and Bryant, the umpire, we know him. The back judge, all these guys have worked our game, so or have been in our training camps in years past. So, and I think Bruce would tell you the same thing. By the time you get to this one, they know you. They kind of know your players, and they've watched tape and so on. So they've got a pretty good feel on things. But yeah, no, I think they let you play within reason. They're still gonna call holdings and do those things, but within reason, they'll let you play.
And we'll go last to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. I'm just wondering, obviously the obligations are different this year than they were last year, just not being on site, but how do you just sort of prepare your guys for all the excess stuff that they have to do this week?
Yeah, so we set a schedule. I tried to do the homework on it. We're the visiting team, so they had their choice. The Buccaneers had their choice of schedules, and so what we did was we set ours. Ted did a nice job. Ted Cruz did a nice job of that, and then we set our practice up around that, and made sure that we were able to get done what we need to get done football wise. We got a lot of work done last week when it wasn't quite as chaotic. The demands weren't quite as heavy.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Offering to go to Mick Schaefer.
Hey there, Tyrann. I'm wondering when you flip the switch from this calm, cool, collected guy we see in front of the media all the time to what's kind of like a maniac sometimes on the field. Is it pregame when you're pulling on your jersey? Is it kickoff sometime else? When does that switch get flipped? And I'll have a quick follow-up.
Yeah, I think it kind of happens, through the course of the game. I think the most important thing is you just try to, keep your composure, while maintaining, high energy. I think that's really always the challenge. But I think anytime you step on a field, just got to put it in your mind that, everybody's out to get you. And, you got to stand up for yourself, make a play for your team.
Yeah, I think you put it a great way, keeping composure with maintaining high energy. We talked yesterday with Dave Merritt, and we both agreed we don't know how you don't get flagged sometimes for playing to the echo of the whistle, and it maybe seems like the exact line, how much officials are going to put up with out there. How do you do that? How do you know that?
Well, I got a good relationship with most of the referees. They know me. They know I'm a good guy. They know I don't mean any harm. They know I'm just trying my best to kind of raise the tempo and the energy of the people around me. But, like you said, I think it all comes down to, obviously keeping your composure, and, not really hurting your team or getting a penalty that, sets you back.
Okay, next up, we're going to go to Diana Rossini.
Hey, Ty.
Hey.
It's good to see you. It's already Wednesday, but at the same time, it's only Wednesday. We still have so many days to get here. Can you describe what it's been like for you guys, just sort of the last week or so leading up to it? Has there been a shift in energy yet? Kind of explain where you guys are at it as a team now.
Yeah, I think, a lot of the information is in, all the game plan is in. So right now we're, just trying our best to, keep that engine rolling, trying our best not to peak too soon. Like you mentioned, we're still a couple of days away from the big game. You don't want to, have too much energy before the game. You want to kind of build up to it. But, I think we're in the right mindset right now. We're ready to go. I think we understand, the kind of team we're playing and the kind of challenge, we got in front of us.
Okay, next up, we're going to go to Nate Taylor.
Hey, Tyrann, good to see you, man.
Yep.
Just wanted to ask you, as a guy who played in the Super Bowl last year, obviously helped the team get to the championship, how satisfying and gratifying is it to make sure that guys that missed the game last year, like Alex Okafor, Juan Thornhill, are able to play in this game, considering it was much about your guys' run it back campaign?
Yeah, I think, everything we do is about the team, man. How can we, lift the people around us? How can we be better as individuals, and, how we can make, life better for our teammates around us. And, obviously everybody have dreams of playing in this game. These games aren't always promised. But I think we're grateful. We're fortunate to be able to be back in this position. and we do have some motivation knowing that, it's a lot of young guys on our team. It's a lot of new faces on our team. A lot of guys who were injured last year who didn't play in this game. And so, it means a lot to those guys. This is their first one. Juan Thornhill, I mean, he's just so excited because this is his first game, and this is his first time playing the Super Bowl. So, it means a lot to not only them, but it means a lot to us as well to kind of make sure that those guys are able to kind of win this game and, have that same feeling that we had last year.
Next up, we're going to go to Therese Paler.
Hey, Tyrann, how's it going, man?
Going good. Blessed.
Hey, I think I got a question you might like, man. Hey, you and Leonard Fournette went to the same high school.
Yeah.
And, I was wondering if you guys have visited, before this game about squaring off and against each other, two St. Augustine grads, but squaring off against each other. And how much did that school help you guys on your journey to this very point right now?
Yeah, I mean, me and Leonard, we actually haven't spoke this week about the game. Me and him have been able to kind of play against each other the last couple of years. And, that's always been on the bucket list for us. Me and him are kind of, different in age. And so he's always kind of been a younger guy, who was, up and coming. And so, so it's great to kind of see him, have some success and, be in this situation. It's a great opportunity, for both of us. I think St. Augustine, obviously growing up in New Orleans, I think it teaches you a lot, not only as a person, but as a person, who you want to become, in the future, just, the discipline, the different teachers and the coaches that we had that were, really hands-on. I like to say that school, definitely, put us in that mindset to, to dream big and work hard.
All right, next up, we're going to go to Courtney Smith.
Hi, Tyrann. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
So, right now we're in Black History Month, and last summer, going through the protests, I was wondering if there was any music or any artists in particular that you were listening to during that time that really motivated you, songs that, had a good message that, you and your teammates or you and your friends were really listening to get motivated to be out in the community.
Well, I mean, I probably say we got a, wide range of, songs that we listen to. I probably say, obviously, listening to guys like Tupac or, Kendrick Lamar. I think all those guys motivate you, from a personal standpoint. They always make you, think outside the box. Obviously, we're all blessed to be able to make it, this far. And, I think the common thing that both of those guys, really, speaking of music is, it's all about community. It's all about coming back home, going back to the place that made you who you are and trying your best to, make those places, better.
Next up, we're going to go to Todd Lebo.
Hey, Tyrann, we just heard this week that you got a couple guys on the COVID list. The barber came in and close contacts. I don't think most people even understood that that's the links that the organization was going to, testing barbers and all that stuff. Can you kind of take us inside maybe some of the things that people wouldn't even expect that you guys have had to go through protocol-wise just to kind of get through the NFL season? I think we understand a lot of the testing with practices and stuff, but it goes a lot further, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say just this whole year, outside of the testing and, it's more so about us, being responsible, when we're on our own. So, just being conscious of the people that, we're in contact with, especially being mindful of the places we go, and the amounts of people that are in those places. I probably say that's been the, biggest, challenge, especially for a lot of young guys in the league is, not having that kind of social, community to kind of go to. But I think it's really helped us out a lot, man. It's helped us, obviously get to this point, just being able to focus on ball. But, it's a blessing for us to even, be in this situation, playing in the Super Bowl and make it this far. We got to continue to, handle our responsibilities, outside of the building.
Next up, we're going to go to Nate Davis.
Hey, Ty, I wanted to ask about Steve Spagnuolo. You and he were big differences from the 2018 team to the 2019 team. But, just what does he bring to the table in terms of, you guys beat the Bucs once. He's got the reputation for beating Brady in the Super Bowl in the past. I hear his wife's cooking is great. You know, what are the things that Steve brings to the room?
I mean, I think first and foremost, I think he's a great man. I think he has a great heart. And then above all that, man, he's one of the greatest teachers I've been around. So detailed, so informative. Not only are you going to know what you're doing, but you're going to know why you're doing it. He never lets us get complacent as well. He's always trying to find a way to get us better, even if it's by a little bit. I think that means a lot to him to see us continue to progress. But yeah, he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. Such a great teacher, a guy that can really communicate, with all three levels of the defense, which is really rare. Most guys are specialists at one position. He's a guy that really has a great knowledge of it all.
Next up, we're going to go to Pete Sweeney.
Hey, Tyrann.
Hey.
Kind of a two-parter for you here. How does the play of L'Jarius Sneed and sort of the surprise of him this year, Thornhill playing better, allow you to be that ultimate chess piece, whether it's the slot, wide, box, or even sometimes along the line of recently? And then how much do you relish the opportunity that Spags allows you to do that? Not every DC allows necessarily a defensive back, nor do they always have the ability to do that. But how much do you relish that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always great, man, when you're playing with guys that love the game as much as you. You're playing with guys that study as much as you, and these guys have great ability as well. You mentioned Sneed and Juan, and just they're continuing to grow, in this league. And for me, I just try to be. I try not to get in those guys' way. I just try to be a positive voice in their ear. Obviously, put those guys in position to communicate with them so those guys can play faster and make plays. For me, it doesn't necessarily matter, what role I'm playing, on the defense, whether it's, man or robbing. For me, it's all about the guys around me. How can I get those guys, to play hard, to play better, to communicate more? Because I think, if we're all able to do that, I think we're all able to play fast, play with our eyes, use our instincts and, really make plays on the back end.
Next up, we're going to go to Mark Topkin.
Hey, Tyrann, two questions for you. One, Bruce Arians said today you are his favorite draft choice of all time. What does that mean to you? And the second one is, just as far as the schedule of you guys not getting in till 4:00 Saturday, does that kind of make it still feel like the Super Bowl or not, or how does that feel?
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl, all right. Ain't nowhere around that. It doesn't matter, what it is that's going on. We're going to be ready to roll, come Super Bowl day. That doesn't matter when we fly in, when we get there. I think our minds are made up. We're ready for the challenge. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it makes you feel good. When any coach tells you, they appreciate you or, they respect you. I think that's why you play the game. Obviously for your teammates' respect and for the fans' respect. But I think mostly, you want your coaches to trust you at the end of the day. And so for me and Coach Bruce, we got a great relationship. Like I said, he was one of the first people in the NFL that really believed in me and, the things that I can do on the football field and gave me a chance to kind of showcase that. And anytime he tells me I'm his favorite draft pick, it always makes me smile. This is a guy that coached Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning, and now he's coaching Tom Brady, and somehow I'm still one of his favorite players. It's just a good feeling.
Okay, next up we're going to go to Harold Kuntz.
Hey, Tyrann, how you doing, man?
Doing good, blessed.
Yes. Hey, Frank Clark said something interesting the other day. He said there's a difference between the honey badger and the landlord. I'm just curious what your thought on that situation. What do you think is the difference between the honey badger and the landlord?
I think the landlord is more reserved. I think he's more collected. I think it's all about the team. It's all about the group. And I think the honey badger is just like this. Like, he's so emotional. He's high strung. He wants to make every play. I'd probably say that's really, the difference. The honey badger is, highly emotional. And then I think the landlord is more so, he's collected. He knows what everybody's supposed to do. He knows where he's supposed to be at. But the honey badger, once the ball snapped, he's just like, go get the ball,
Okay, for our final question, we're going to go to Matt McMullen.
Hey, Tyrann. You touched on this a bit earlier, but with it being Black History Month, just what's this month mean to you?
It means a lot, man. As a young Black man, with a great platform, I feel it's a great responsibility of mine to, continue to lead, not just my colored people, but all colored people, in the right way, in a positive way. Such a great moment in history, for us to really come together, as a people. And so I think that's mostly, what you look forward to, continuing to, spread the message, of kindness and togetherness. But when I think of Black History, when I think about all the sacrifices and, all the obstacles, all the adversity that mostly, colored people, had to face, and all the barriers we had to cross. And so you're always grateful, you're always thankful for the people that made, this possible for me, sitting in front of the camera, having such a great platform. You always think back to the people that made this all, possible for you.
All right. Thanks, Tyrann. That's all Tyrann's time today. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Patrick, we were just talking with Coach Reid, and he said he was still impressed by how Tyreek continues to put in hard work every day and is trying to continually get better every day. I wonder if you could speak to his work ethic and specifically maybe his competitive spirit as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a guy that comes with energy, and he comes with that work ethic every single day. We ask him to do a lot. I mean, you obviously see he's always running down the field, catching these long plays. He's running intermediate routes. He's running jet sweeps, and he wants to take every single rep. I mean, he's out there for every single one of them to get the timing down, runs down there, scores touchdowns, and then he's in the huddle again for the next play. And so you hear about that with all the great receivers, but to see it firsthand, I mean, it's truly a special thing.
We'll go next to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
Patrick, this is it for us. This is the last time we get to talk to you. So I know we're still, it feels like a long time away from this game, but can we quickly just fast forward to Saturday night and kind of take us through your routine, what you like to eat, and kind of who do you like to talk to? Can you take us sort of what your Saturday night plans are?
Yeah, they're a little different than they usually are, obviously with the COVID protocols. But for the most part, I mean, you go through your kind of your first 15s, stuff like that. You go through scenarios that can present itself during the game, kind of those last end of game scenarios, and then you just go out there and you're ready to play. And I talk to everybody as much as I can in those meal rooms, even though we're separated and everything like that. Then I get in bed, get a good night's sleep. You start visualizing plays as you get ready for bed, and then it's game time. It's ready to go.
We'll go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Sid, I'll have a follow-up to this, but Patrick, kind of related to what you were just asked, except for I wanted to backtrack what's already happened this week. Can you kind of give us a sense of how much extra obligations you have this week compared to a normal week?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ted and Brad did a good job of kind of spreading it out for me, and we kept it where it was only a couple things a day. But just getting able to talk to the media, getting able to kind of give your input on what you think you can do to go out there and execute. But at the same time, you expect it now. Last year was obviously in person, but you got a sense of for what it's like. And this year you get to do it virtually, but you understand what this week entails, which I think will help out a lot of guys in being prepared for the game.
And just as a quick follow-up, I mean, can you give us a sense of what it's like to be answering questions for hours every single day for an entire week?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get used to it, I guess, in a sense. You prepare yourself to go in and try to present the best representation of not only yourself but of the team. And I try to do that every single time and be a good representation of myself and the Kansas City Chiefs.
We'll go next to Jory Epstein, USA Today. Go ahead, Jory.
Hi, Patrick. Thanks for your time today.
You've spoken about why it's important to you to work in the community and to be vocal about these social justice issues, but what this season are you most proud of accomplishing, whether it's something voter registration or something that you were able to do with the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Obviously, the voter registration stuff was huge. Not only getting all of our team registered to vote, but to present it to Kansas City and get voting machines in Arrowhead and show that we support people going out and using their voice. But for me, I think it was just the open dialogue that we had within the team. People from all different backgrounds kind of showing their point of views and coming together and making us even closer. That just kind of is a small sample of what we can do in this country in order to help become more unified and to be better as we want to continue to move forward and make progress.
We'll go next to Danny Welniak, KCTV. Go ahead, Danny.
Patrick, hope all is going well. I have a non-football question for you. Obviously, you and Brittany are getting very close to being parents. Are you concerned at all that you might end up with a Super Bowl baby? And how ready are you guys to embark on that next chapter of life?
Yeah, well, first off, we're extremely ready. We're excited. We have all the things planned out and every single gadget and tool you can have to be great parents. But at the same time, I'm trying to tell her to hold off until after the game. But whenever it happens, it happens. But if we can wait till maybe a few weeks after the game, that would probably be ideal.
We'll go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Patrick, I got 2 questions for you, man. When you think about the speed that's around you, just how much of a difference does that make for your job? And then secondly, talking to some guys who did not play in the game last year, obviously Juan Thornhill, Alex Okafor, you got a ton of rookies with you. Just how nice is it and satisfying to give those guys the opportunity based on the work you and your teammates have done this year?
Yeah, I mean, to your second question, it's definitely satisfying with those guys like that. I mean, like Juan and Alex Okafor, I mean, they were such big parts of our team last year, and they didn't get the opportunity to play in the big game. And I mean, you never know if you're going to make it back here. I mean, we preach that to each other. I mean, every single day. I mean, obviously we're here for the second straight year, but you never know if you'll get another opportunity to be in this game. And so that's a huge deal. And we're going to try to really not take any day for granted and prepare ourselves to be the best that we can be on Super Bowl Sunday. You got to ask your first question one more time for me again.
Yeah, it's just how much does the speed around you help your job, and just how different is it? Even when you were playing in college, right? Just the amount of speed and how much that makes your job and just everybody's job easier on the field.
Yeah, it's a tremendous effect. I mean, it's something that's truly special. I mean, having those guys that are physical, but they're also extremely fast. It puts defenses in dangerous spots. I mean, that when they want to bring pressure, and you see how we do so well against pressures, is because I can get the ball out of my hand quickly, and these guys can make plays happen. And so, I mean, it's something where it makes defenses really have to second guess what they want to do in order to stay on top of guys like Tyreek and Mecole and all these other receivers that we have. And it opens up the field for guys underneath. And it's something that really is a big part of our offense.
We'll go next to Ryan Dunleavy, New York.
Some records, man, that really, showed like what's going on, and they had the videos to go with it, and the lyrics that they had. I'm a lyrics person, so the lyrics they had kind of, motivation, like, man, dang, I really can go out there and make a change, or, even help out, or do my part. So it's something out there, but maybe I can think of it later on. I can say some names, but right now I can think of one, this little baby, the bigger picture, and I'm crazy that I can't think of no more, but that's the only one I got right now.
We're going to go next to Ryan.
Hey, Mecole.
Hey, how you doing?
Wanted to ask you about Damien Williams, a guy who's not with you guys this year, but could have been the MVP at last year's Super Bowl. Have you stayed in touch with him at all? And does that kind of just speak to the craziness of this year, that a guy who could have been the MVP at last year's Super Bowl isn't even here this year because of COVID?
I thought he was going to win MVP. Let's get that clear. I thought he was going to win it. 2 touchdowns, did his thing, but I thought he was going to win it. But yeah, I kept in contact with him. we talk here and there, man, and it's just, simple conversation. How you doing? Good, man, and just, just keeping that relationship alive. And wish he could be here with us. He played another Super Bowl, man, but I know he did the right thing for him and his family. And but yeah, I definitely keep in touch with him, man. And it's crazy this COVID, man, but we try to do our best to to manage everything around it and keep relationships alive, especially like guys that opted out. So, but yeah, we keep in contact for sure. That's a good question. I like that one.
We're gonna go next to Jenna.
Hi, Mecole. So your team has a lot of offensive firepower. How do you describe your role on the team? And then when do you see that becoming an X factor in this game?
Yeah, we definitely got a lot of firepower for sure. My role, I think my role is to, I don't know really ask what my role was. I always say I play my role. My role probably just more so is a type of guy that just take advantage of when the opportunity presents itself. Like I got all the tools to do a lot of things, and which I think everybody knows is just more so whenever that opportunity presents itself, just take advantage. I think that's kind of like my role is make the big plays and take advantage of the opportunity that's come. I think that's kind of like my role. Like and I forgot what the second question was. What you said? Oh, in the game, the X factor in the game. I think it's just probably when I don't know, say they forget about me, but it's like when you so much attention on certain other people and it's just like, I might be one-on-one or, or I got a jet sweep and they're not respecting it. It's just, making that big play in the game to switch momentum or keep the momentum going or something like that. I think that's probably like my kind of like my X factor moment in a game. So.
Sack Nation.
Yeah, man, Sneed, he's done a great job, man. Not alone, all the plays he's made, in the back end of that, playing, Stevie out when, taking away. I don't want to take away from this, what he's done as a blitzer, but man, he's done an excellent job all around. You watch the kid come in, you watch him come in camp. All he does is work. He has his head down, he's working. He's not really he's not a talker. He's very quiet, but you just watch how hard he works. And I mean, it shows up on the field. You watch him day in and day out, then you watch him on the field, fans watch him on the field and they just see the work after that. And he just displaying. And, that's hats off to him. We got a few rookies though, man. We get, don't want to, overcrowd them or, but man, it's a few rookies who just been doing their job. Like I said, Sneed, man, you got Turk, you got Mike Dana, you got, man, a few guys on special teams, even on the offensive side. You got Lil Clyde, man. You got guys doing things that, helped us get back to this point. And even as rookies or guys who came over from other teams, it's been just a collaborative effort to, us to focus on, us as a team and us get back to this point.
All right, next we'll go to Matt Baker from the Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, Frank, you said a couple minutes ago that every season starts new. So what's different about this team than the one last year?
Man, the people. I mean, the year. I mean, a lot changes in a year. The mindset. We're not a team coming into the, starting back in spring ball. We're not a team coming into the season, with a fresh playbook. Like we don't know the playbook, things like that. You got to understand, we come in last year and we're coming into a whole new situation, a lot of us. I'm coming from a different team. I'm coming in, I got to learn a whole new playbook. You got guys who've been on the team for years and they get a new coordinator, so they have to throw out everything they've learned, all the coaching they learned, a way of football they've learned, and they got to basically buy into a whole new style of coaching with Coach Spags. And that was one of the biggest roadblocks of the year. And I'm not saying we're even perfect. Our best work has yet to be showcased. But, it's just us buying in and us understanding the schemes and stuff better, which is allowing us to play better and trust each other. And so when you talk about changes, I feel like that's the biggest change. It's just,
All right, next we'll go to Nick Jacobs, KSHB.
Frank, what is the art of the pass rush when you're going against a guy that is the caliber of Tom Brady?
Pressure and getting him off the spot. For years, you watch this man dominate games, because he's not pressured enough, or he's not, forced off the spot. This is one of the best, if not, the best pocket passer, of our era, and look over the last 20 years or whatever, and the man has done nothing but shine. I believe this year he's around about 65% when he's allowed to stay in the pocket and be comfortable. He's getting off about 65% completion percentages. And then when he's forced to either get out the pocket a little bit, you talk about getting out the pocket a yard or a few yards, 2 yards, his percentage goes all the way down to 37 to 36%. So when you talk about a 30% drop, just based off a guy getting pressure on him, when you can, I think there's a lot of defensive coaches who will be happy with that, that type of, change in percentages.
On the emotional side, your excitement level when that adrenaline kind of kicks in, what will Saturday night and Sunday be like for you as you wait for kickoff?
Saturday night is just looking for ways to sleep, honestly. Because like you said, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy that you build up throughout the week. And the key is just letting it out at the right time on Sunday. So having that experience of going there before definitely going to help this year.
We're back to Carrie Burns with the AAU.
Hi, just one more question about the kind of if there was any advice that you had for young athletes that are looking up to you now and wanting to play in the NFL, is what would you tell them?
I would tell them just try as hard as you can, man. There's nothing bad that can happen from that. And if you give up, you know exactly what's going to happen. So just be able to be comfortable with that uncertainty. There was never anything certain in my career, and now I'm here fighting for a second Super Bowl.
Reminder to media, if you wish to ask a question, please use the raise hand function.
Last year when he stepped in, he actually played with me in Jacksonville. He was our center for, I think, a year, and then he went somewhere else. But he's always been great. He's always been a smart guy, learning the game, knowing the protection calls, offensive line calls, and he's a swing guy. I mean, he can play different positions for us. And for him to step in again this year and give us an opportunity on the offensive line, he's done a great job that way. And your second question with being a PA guy, oh yeah, we always talk about Pennsylvania and how prideful we are in PA. And obviously he went to Penn State and me, Michigan, but he's a good Western Pennsylvania guy.
Next question will come from Hassan Khan of Time 2 Football.
Hey Chad, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. So all the heroics and that miracle moment that you had in Cleveland and the longevity of a career that you've had so far, playing in your second back-to-back straight Super Bowl, do you feel like, or have you thought about your life after football, and could this be the perfect ending for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it with my family after the season. I'm on contract for another year, but I feel like I still got a little gas in the tank. We'll talk about it again with my family, but at the same time, after football, I feel like I just want to get back and coach quarterbacks and help out in high school. I feel like with all this information and all these years and experience, I can give back to the community and help out some younger quarterbacks.
Next question will come from Omar Ruiz.
Hey, Chad. Great to see you, man. Congrats on all your successes.
Appreciate it.
Just curious, are you kind of Tom in practice this week, or kind of how you guys approaching in the quarterback room, how you guys play the scout team against your defense?
Yeah, so I take all the scout team reps, get the defense prepared, and be the best Tom I can be. Kind of study his antics, give him the best look as possible during the week for them.
Next question will come from Hal Habib of the Palm Beach Post.
Hi, Chad. Since you already talked about your Miami stop earlier in our conversation, I'd like to ask you, you've had such a unique career. going so long without throwing a pass and then coming through the way you did a couple of weeks ago. I'm wondering when you take a step back, if you could, and look at your NFL career as a whole, how would you describe it? What stands out for you?
I think just the hard work. I think every week, every year, just putting in the work, trying to get my body better, trying to be in the best physical shape as possible, doing different things in the off season, and still mentally. I think stimulating myself in the off season and in the season, even though you might know some things on offense and defense, trying to find some nuances that will help my game out, especially when I'm under center. And I think just the longevity and just the hard work has really paid off. And, looking back has really helped me throughout this moment.
How do you feel you match up best with this Buccaneers offense where you can make your biggest splash?
Man, I know Coach Spads dialed up the best, defense for us, put us in the best position that we need to be in. And I know the guys up front going to handle theirs, and the linebackers going to handle theirs, and we're going to handle ours from the back end, And I feel like Spag got us in the right position. Everybody just do their job. And, we're preparing now for 2 weeks now. So, just go out there, play ball, and put God first.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Matias Vega. Go ahead, Matias.
Hi, Jairus. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Congratulations on your Super Bowl appearance. How are you feeling the last few days? Do you think you play in your 100%?
Yes, sir. I'm 100%. I'm feeling great.
Okay, let's go to Jeff Duncan. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hello, Jairus. I wanted to ask you a Webster Parish question. What's it like to be at this moment in this huge game with one of your homeboys, Devin White? How special is it for you?
No, it's very special, but Devin knows right now that we's not homeboys at the moment. It's no friendly until after them 60 minutes is over with.
What's your all's relationship like? How far back do you go? How close are you all?
I say we go way. We always competed in high school and junior high. Me and him always been that little rivalry of the little town that we from. But we go all the way back since like high school and junior high.
And what do you think this will mean to the folks back in Webster Parish with you guys there?
It means a lot, man, especially for the young generation growing up. They had I know my elementary had a Devin White day and a LeJarrette Sneed day throughout this whole week. And I feel like that's a blessing because I know we didn't have that growing up. We didn't have no one to look up to growing up like that. And it's a blessing for the kids growing up in our little area.
Thanks, LJ. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, let's go next to Rod Walker. Go ahead, Rod.
Just growing up in Louisiana, how much did you grow up looking up to a guy like Tyrann, and what's it sort of like just being in the same locker room with him?
Oh man, it's a blessing. I used to call myself the Honey Badger in high school. I was the Honey Badger on the offensive side.
But football related, I'll probably say it'd have to be probably my junior year when we took every trophy you can think of except for the Axe. I mean, the Governor's Bell, Florida Rosedale, what's the little brown jug, took that one. We took them all except for that elusive Axe. So that would definitely be top two right there.
We'll go next to Matt Issa from the Fully Loaded podcast.
Hey man, how can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so obviously the Chiefs' prolific offense has been well documented, and they get most of the credit with the mainstream media. But how does it feel on the defensive side of the ball? Because you guys are still pretty stout. You guys always get stops when you need to. Does it ever bother you guys that you're not as
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have no problem with doing our job in a quiet manner. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole team will get rings if we win this thing. So
we just gonna keep on plugging away and doing what we do quietly, and hopefully it plays off for us.
We have time for one more question. We'll go to John Shearer.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Hello.
It's nice to meet you. So my question is, are you guys treating this as a road game, a neutral site, home game? Because Tampa Bay obviously is at home, and you're not exactly sure what kind of fans are going to show up, whether it be Tampa Bay or not. So what kind of game are you treating this as when it comes to like cadences, calling out, things like that?
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, obviously it's in Tampa Bay. You know, it's going to be surrounded by Tampa fans outside, but once you get inside, I know we'll have some fans too. So I really don't know what to expect. I'm just more so focused on like the football part of it.
All right, we will wrap it here. Damien, thank you for your time. Thanks everyone for.
Kelly?
Hey, Patrick, I was just wondering, is your approach to this matchup against a quarterback who's been here 9 other times differ compared to last year against an inexperienced team?
Not necessarily. I don't think the approach going into the game. I think the one thing you have to understand is that the game it's never going to be over. Knowing the two teams that are playing, neither team's going to give up until that clock hits 0 and the score is the score. And so I think during the game, just knowing that you're going to have to battle to the very end of the game is something that you have to understand going into this one.
Next, we'll go to Nora Princiati. Go ahead, Nora.
Hi, Patrick. Thanks for doing this. So you guys have been really effective as an offense in 3rd and long situations and converting those, which obviously you don't want to be in those situations, but if you can do that, that's great to keep your drives going. Can you just speak a little bit to the mentality of being able to be in those situations, trusting that you can find a way out of them, and kind of what it does to a defense that you're facing when you are able to stay on the field, maybe after getting yourselves out of a situation that they might have started to feel like they kind of had you pinned back there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to the guys on this team and that never give up attitude. First off, you have to have the offensive line give you time in those 3rd and long situations. You have to have the receivers, which I'm lucky enough to have, that are fast enough to get down the field and get themselves open. And then you just execute. And I think that goes to Coach Reid and the way he runs practice and the way he runs our training camp is he prepares us for those situations. So guys know exactly what they want to do. And we go out there and we just try to execute and keep the drive alive.
We'll go next to Heather.
And Sunday will be like as you wait for kickoff.
Right. So a game like this, I'm sure everybody has mentioned it. You want to keep the routine as normal as possible. You don't want to start tweaking some things or doing this or trying this for a game like this. You know, what we've done all year, the way we've prepared has been enough to get us to this point, and it'll be enough to get us past this point and come out with a dub. So for me personally, I'm gonna keep the same routine. Only thing different is, whatever it takes for me to, calm me down and keep me as calm as possible. That's what I'll be looking for. Because like you said,
is the routine different because you guys are flying in Saturday afternoon? Does that change much?
It doesn't change anything. It makes the routine even more of the same because that's the normal travel schedule for regular season games and playoff games. So if anything, the schedule got even more normalized.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time.
No doubt.
Play that turns bad because you're trying to do too much. And so that's something that I've battled with my entire career. And it's something that I try to execute to the very top of the limit, but never going past it.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Jason Romano.
Hey, Patrick, I wanted to ask you about your faith. I know it's an important part of your life. You come from a family of faith. Can you share how that faith in the Lord and prayer guides you as a football player and even more as a man?
Yeah, I think it guides you as while you're playing the game, and that obviously you want to win, but at the end of the day, you're doing it for something that's much bigger than yourself, and you're trying to represent something that's much bigger than yourself. And I think having that confidence and having that trust lets you go out there and be who you are and play freely.
Thank you.
And we'll go to Richard Graves next. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, Pat. I'd like to go back to this issue of leadership if we can. Over the last 12 months, we've seen plenty of footage of you interacting with your teammates on the sideline and the positivity you exude. I wonder if you could just take us through your mentality and where that unwavering, unwilling to be defeated, that unwavering attitude comes from.
Yeah, I think you have to build that with the guys in the locker room. You have to believe in each other so much that things positive happen, and I feel like we have that. We believe that we can battle with anybody, and that we can find a way to win in any type of football game. And I think that comes from not only me, but all the guys on this team, and we support each other to the very end. And no matter what's happened before, we're going to believe in that person in the next play.
Thank you, Patrick. That's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.